Welcome to the Tom Bernard Podcast with family and
co-host Catherine Brandt,
Alex Bernard Rasmussen,
and Andy Brandt Bernard.
no Elizabeth Burt today. Somebody texted, said, called her Elizabeth Burt.
Well, we have a copy from last year's show. So you know how we did, or you did, a show on the Hubbard stage last year. Tom did. Dad did.
Right.
There we go.
I guess, I don't know. Depends on who I'm talking to. He's either Tom or Dad.
Yeah.
Right.
But the copy they have from last year said he's joined by guests such as Bob Sansevier, Chris Eggert, and Elizabeth Burt.
Elizabeth Burt.
Elizabeth Burt will be there. No question about it.
Yeah.
So here's the deal. No Elizabeth Burt today, unfortunately. She is, what is she doing again today?
I don't know.
She is talking to Coda Hoda or whatever her name is.
Yeah.
What a hot
Yeah.
Coda Hotby.
Coda Hunt.
And Kathy. What was the redheaded woman on that same show?
I've never watched that show.
What show is this?
She some morning New York shore show. I don't know.
Okay.
Show.
Everybody's
ABC
really-
something. I don't know.
NBC?
No, it was like a entertainment kind of show.
Today? NBC's
Yeah.
Today Show.
Yeah.
Today Show.
It was Regis and Kathy Lee.
Google?
Kathy Lee.
Oh.
That's what it was.
Yeah, that's who she's talking to today for some reason.
Kathy Lee. Wait, Kathy Lee, is that right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Kathy Lee Gifford or something like
Yeah.
that. Yeah,
It
Mhm.
was a couple different people.
I never watched it. I never watched
yeah,
that
there's-
show, but apparently a
am
lot
I thinking
of
of?
people did.
Regis and
Kelly.
complete the sentence. Yeah, that's who I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
Kelly.
Yeah, she took over after Kathy Lee
Oh, okay.
retired or whatever, fired her. I don't know.
Regis is still on?
No.
Regis is
Oh,
dead.
I was going to say. Is he dead?
I don't know.
Isn't he?
Dad.
Yes,
No,
he is. He's been dead
is
for
he?
5 years.
Has he
Regis
really?
Philbin. Okay, this is a perfect lead in there.
There you
This is
go.
the perfect lead in I was looking for because our audience has really kicked up on X, on this show and all the rest of it. People are demanding that we bring two things back to the show.
Regis
Okay.
Philbin and
One of them will be, of course, Dead or Not Dead. So that
Wow.
would have been a good one. Regis Philbin.
Yeah.
the thing about
Okay.
dead or not dead is everyone is dead now.
Not everyone's not dead. I'll give you an example, though. So I'm reading post after post after post about bring back dead or not dead, dead or not dead, dead or not dead. So we're going to do that, definitely. We got to pick a day for it that would really, really work for everyone. Alex, do you want to be here during Dead or Not Dead?
Sure. I'd be
See.
terrible at it, but it's
Well, I'll give you an example. So I'm reading all these messages on X, and I've got the TV on, and I look up, and there's Brian Keith. And I'm looking at Dead or Not Dead, and Brian Keith, remember him from The Family Affair and all of that stuff. So I'm thinking to myself, no, there's a good example. Dead or Not Dead, Brian Keith. I'm going to say, I'm not sure, but I'm going to say dead. I looked it up. He died 28 years ago.
Wow.
So,
Brian, what?
Brian Keith. You remember the show Family Affair with the big Sebastian Cabot was the butler, and
No, they're not going to remember that.
well, it's not. But I
Oh,
mean, all
Here's a-
those shows are available everywhere now, so you might watch it.
It was in The Parent Trap, the original.
Yep,
I've seen that.
I think he was on Alfred Hitchcock. That's where I saw him. He was
He's
being
also in with 6 You Get Egg Roll.
Yeah, there you go. So that's the deal there.
Owen's favorite movie.
Mhm.
So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna figure out what do you guys think the perfect day would be to play Dead or Not Dead every week.
I feel like having. I mean,
Either Wednesday or Friday.
yeah, Wednesday's probably going to be the better day.
Yeah, Wednesday
It's like-
sounds like a good day.
So today,
Wednesday is usually what I try to schedule, like friends of the show kind of guests on.
okay.
So
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, it's like people we've had on before, that sort of thing. And then Friday is usually going to be comedians. So just
Right.
depending on the comedian, they could be good with that.
Remember, Mom and I are not going to be on Friday, so you have to get a really good comedian on.
Where
We
are you
have
going on Friday?
the
We're
driving,
driving home.
Cruising USA.
What?
Yeah,
You know?
you didn't even know we're coming home.
Not
Not
home.
this
back.
weekend? You
Yeah,
told
not
me-
home back. We don't live there anymore. That's right. We live
told
there
me
in the
next
summer.
weekend.
We were going to come home next weekend, but then
Dad's been melancholy lately, so we're going home early.
Well, in Florida, probably feels like the fires of
Oh,
hell.
God,
so-
85.
no, it's beautiful today. It's beautiful.
Today,
Okay, so
it is beautiful here.
That's
It
true.
is so amazing here right now.
Good.
I mean, it's
We're
going to
looking
get
forward to it.
chillier over the weekend. 'cause
Chilly. It's gonna be 60. Perfect.
It's going to be rainy, but we
Ideal.
need it. We do not need any more heat and dryness.
No, we don't.
Well, another thing we're going to work on the show is refocusing, because we were on a different subject completely. Okay, so Dead or Not Dead, what we can have the audience vote on which is the best day to play Dead or Not Dead. We'll play it once a week like we did on the queue.
Either go to tombernardpodcast.com, click on join. Wait, what is it? Hold on. I'm going to find out what you're actually supposed
I
to
could put a poll on your
click on chat.
X.
And then there's a link to the chat. It says click here to join our chat room. Either do that
Okay.
or text us at 612-361-6622 or do the Catherine thing. I don't know. We'll have 70 different places
Thing.
and then we'll just have to conglomerate them all.
The other thing we're going to do is bring back another thing from the Q show, and that was because Derek did such a great job that people want us to bring back our listener segment, and have the listener segment on. So Dead or Not Dead is going to be on Wednesday. Listener, when do you think that would be the best day for listeners to call into the show?
Oh, just like a dedicated call-in time?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'll give you an example of the problem we have, and maybe we should float it around, because the reason being, I was watching TV just now, and people are getting crazier and crazier by the day. I don't even know this guy's name. I don't know who he is. He was doing an interview on television. Apparently he works for Trump. His name is Ed something.
I think he's just a reporter, but I don't know.
Oh, I thought he was working for Trump, but
Oh.
I don't know for sure. I don't know. But he's on national television. He's talking and all of this. All of a sudden, this young woman walking her dog walks up and spits on him
Sure.
and then walks away.
Oh, is it Ed O'Keefe?
Is that who it is?
Yeah. Who is that?
Was that Ed O'Keefe?
Yes,
know
it's a
who
good
that
question. He is at CBS News. He's the senior White House and political correspondent.
No,
for
it can't be him then, because this guy works for Trump. Ed Martin?
U.S. Attorney Ed Martin was.
It is Ed Martin.
Oh,
Okay. Yeah,
sorry.
there you go.
Max. Yep.
Yeah, this woman's probably 20, 22 years old. Maybe just walks by and spits on the guy. Here's what I don't understand. And I got nothing. I've made it very, very clear. I've been a Democrat. I've been a Republican. I'm a nothing right now. How is it liberal to spit on people in the street? Explain that to me. Because liberal, you would just get over and go, I'd like to spit on them, but I won't. That'd be a liberal.
Like I said,
Nobody's
everybody's
anyone I'd like to spit on, to be honest.
No, who the hell would
everybody's
you?
just rage baiting, and
Yeah.
and there's a certain segment of the population that believes everything they see on MSNBC, and they lose their minds every day when they watch it. That's just how it is.
It is unfortunate, but I just don't understand. Why would you want to spit on a guy? I don't know anything about Ed Martin or how he works for Trump or what he does. I have no idea who it is, but
The internet is full of people that are just getting spit on in the street.
Really?
Yeah. People are really in a bad place right now. In
they
general.
are. Yes,
they really are.
I would agree with you. People, I would say right now, and this is for Andy and Alex and all our younger listeners, I am very serious. People are as crazy as they've ever been in my life. And I have never seen such money-grubbing human beings from birth to death, all age groups. The money grubbing right now is just disgusting.
But that's why you should just watch the movie Flow.
Oh, okay.
Talking
Let's
about
talk about. Okay, so
Florida.
I just want to make this very clear. We're going to bring back Dead or Not Dead, probably on Wednesdays. That'd be good. So people that call in and who want to play the game, right? So basically, you have five people. One person comes on. I guess you're going to have to take their name out of a hat. And I did think there has to be a rule. I'll ask the question, and then you have to answer me within 6-7 seconds, something like that.
Oh, so you don't have time to Google
So
it?
you don't have time to Google it. Would that be enough time, Andy? 6-7 seconds?
You could just do the honor rule or whatever. I'm not going to Google it. That would wreck the game, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Well, I know, but I mean, if you could win, like we probably,
Are we giving away something?
yeah, like $100.
Money.
What? Let's not promise anything we can't.
I think we can come up with $100.
Well, it's not the coming up with, it's the getting it to the person
Yeah.
and how it's
Well,
done.
we'll have to
and
figure it out.
It has
Maybe-
to be the accountant involved and the government. You just don't know anymore.
You know what I could do? I'll set something up with Billy over at Jack's where the game show, I will pay for them, but you get a Jack's certificate.
Well, actually, because we aren't like under the Hubbard rule of law anymore, we can
Right.
make our own rules for that giveaway.
I know, but
That's
you
what I'm
don't-
saying.
Give
Yeah.
away one $100 gift card per week. We can give it away any way we choose. So,
Well,
it might not be a bad way to do it.
I love the Jack's idea, except for there's a lot of people that don't live right, in Minneapolis.
true.
That would, if they won that, it wouldn't do them. It's too far away.
Okay, McDonald's. $100 at McDonald's buys what, about 5 meals?
We'll just have
Not
to
anymore.
contact
Not anymore. Probably not anymore. You're right.
I had Chat GPT make a list of 5 celebrities whose dead or not dead status may be surprising to the general public.
Okay, why don't we?
See how it did.
Do you want to play that game between the three of us, and then Andy, you be the host?
Oh, yeah, I suppose I can't play it, can I?
No,
Yeah,
not if you
since
can
you
see
know.
the list. That'd be a little difficult.
Do it.
I'm
Okay.
brilliant.
I'm really
I
smart.
have all the answers.
What about
Can't
you?
even tell you.
You can
Okay,
play.
so I'm going to put Alex A, Mom M,
Oh Lord.
and Dad D.
Okay.
Okay, you ready to play the game? Oh, is there any? Because I'd like to play Dead or Alive, but we'd probably have to pay for that, wouldn't we?
Yes, we would.
Damn it! Is there anything we can play that we can't? Like-
Not literally off the bat like that, no.
Dead, 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 dead,
There you
dead.
go.
There's a jingle to play the game. Okay, so there are 3 of us playing, and this, by the way, would only be one person at a time. So
And this is also AI generated, so it might not be good, but we'll see. I don't know.
What do you mean
A couple of them were surprising to me, so I don't know.
well, were they? Well,
Yeah,
should we
I
just
guess
have Alex play the game, Catherine? Because if all
Just-
3 of us play, it would take quite a while.
Sure. Okay,
Quite a way.
Alex, you're in the
Alex,
hot seat.
you're in the hot seat.
So
God, I hate
listen.
Okay, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. It's time to play Dead or Alive on the Tom Bernard podcast. What's your name? Guest.
Alex Rasmussen.
Alex Rasmussen's going to play it. Andy will run the show. She's going to get 5 names, and she has to guess dead or alive. Correct?
We'll see.
We'll
And
see.
Alex will win a
Are.
$100 gift certificate
Is this
to
real?
Jack's.
Probably not.
Jack's? I
I love Jack's.
don't even know what that is.
Jack's Cafe.
You've
or
been to
advertising.
Jack's Cafe,
They're in-
the steakhouse over Northeast.
Yeah, they're in
Yes.
Northeast Minneapolis.
With the trout.
Oh yes. Sorry.
Need to pay
I was-
attention.
There you go.
Well,
Okay,
at first
I'm
we
going
were
to keep.
talking to about McDonald's, and then I got distracted.
Okay, now we got to take a break because you guys have been hemming and hawing so long, but we'll be right back and we will play Dead or Alive. Alex Rasmussen, Andy, your host.
And those in the chat, you can play along too. Why not?
Yeah.
I like it. Dead or Alive on the Tom Bernard podcast right after this. From Bradshaw and Bryant, Michael Bryant. What's up, Allie?
Oh, not much. Doing my usual thing of telling people they shouldn't be texting and driving. In Minnesota, you can't have your phone in your hands. You can use, hands free, but you can't have your phone in your hand for whatever reason. And that's why they made the law the way they did, so that police officers could see a phone in your hand and you got no excuse for why you got it there.
Do people know that that's the law?
I hope so. I mean, they used to follow it, and then kind of COVID kind of made people forget. And now it's like a freewheeling world out there with cell phones.
Let's say you get pulled over because you do have a phone in your hand and you're not watching where you're going. You got to be in pretty big trouble then, I would guess.
Well, the first one's not as bad. It's the multiple ones, the problem. And once people start stacking them up, then they have a big problem. And then what we're doing in car accidents is we've started bringing motions for punitive damages, because I'm trying to use the civil law any way we can to stop this, because it needs to stop.
Whenever I'd had any problems in my life, who was that I called again? It was like an MB, something like that.
Bradshaw and Bryant.
Let me tell you about my bank, North American Banking Company. When it comes to banking, it's all about trust, and that's what you get with them. They've been around since 1998, and they've always made it clear they're here to give you a better banking experience with a focus on the local community, and you won't be dealing with some AI chatbot. You'll get straight answers and quick decisions from real people that you know, and your situation will always be, they'll always be ready to help you, which is good. So if you're tired of the big national banks and want something better, stop by and see my friends at North American Banking Company. Visit nabankco.com to learn more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Maybe you could reconsider all the love you missed since I've been gone.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen. It was suggested on X that we start playing a game show, and definitely have listener segment where you email things in, or if you just want to mail them in. That's how it used. When we started that game all those years ago, they mailed it in.
You're kidding me.
Yeah, it's true.
The mail?
But this will be on. You can just email. That'd be wonderful. And what's our email address, Andy?
TomBernardPodcast@gmail.com.
TomBernardPodcast@gmail.com. Once you start sending stuff in immediately, because we'll be reading your stuff on this show.
Texting
Gotta
also
pick it.
works, or join the chat room if you want to talk to us in the chat. I'm always in there.
Okay, that sounds good. So
Always. Literally always, at least during the show.
Anytime.
we haven't decided what day that we're going to play it yet, though. Or are we just going to? Because we could have a listener segment every day if we read a couple of comments. If you want.
I mean, I'm reading chat comments all the time, so we already got our listener segment.
Yeah, there you go. But I'd invite them to also to call in and be on the show live if they'd like to.
If they'd like to.
Okay, so let's now turn to the and Andy is the host, Alex is the contestant. Dead or not dead? God, I wish we could play Dead or Alive, but it's too expensive.
Yes, not going to happen.
That's too bad. Okay, I'm ready. You get what? 5? You got 5 people, Andy?
I got 5 of them.
Okay, 1, 2, and should mom and dad also do it?
If you want.
What do you think?
Sure.
You think you want to do it, Catherine?
Sure.
And if anyone
Yeah,
aces
takes
it,
the heat off of
we'll
me.
do the bonus round, which is 5 more, but all Chinese celebrities.
There you go.
Okay, well,
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
That's what it says in the game show.
That's
All right.
I would
It's
fail
written down right here.
miserably.
Okay, how about this? This is our jingle. Dead, 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 dead,
It's a pretty
or
good
alive. What do you think?
one. Or alive.
Not
All
good.
right. Number 1, Bob Barker.
Dead.
The mom,
No.
it's Alex. She said, Jesus. First question of the game. So they're going to go on the next 10 years, and she destroys it right out of the box.
Sure.
I thought you were
Okay.
guessing. What happened to that?
What's that?
Dad said he's not.
Oh, so it's confirmed just Alex.
No, mom's doing it too.
But that she said, I guess.
I know.
She
Is
did.
that
She
okay?
already
She
guessed.
got yelled at.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay, mom and Alex are playing the game, and here we go. Alex said he's not dead. Mom said dead.
No, they both said dead, I think.
Yeah, we both said dead.
Oh, did you both say dead? Okay, sorry.
You are both correct.
Okay,
Yay.
there you go.
Well,
Question.
I'm sad. Bob Barker was a good
He was.
a good egg.
He was actually big drinker at one time. Did you know that?
I mean, who wasn't in the
Well,
show
that's true.
business?
That's a very good point. I think Bob Barker lived to be like 90, didn't he?
99.
99. Holy
A
Hannah.
pretty good run.
Good job, Bob. I guess
Yep.
he could be a real prick to some people, though. That's what I've heard.
Mm,
Okay,
only
question
if you
number 2.
say new to your pets. He hated that.
Yeah, he did not like pets. That's right.
No,
No,
that was
he-
him, right?
Yeah, spay and neuter your
Yeah.
pets. He said it.
Oh, that's Spade and
Hey, and new to your
That's right.
pets.
Okay, question 2.
All right, question 2. Carol Burnett.
alive.
Alive.
You are both right.
Yeah,
Yay!
you're both right. Carol Burnett she's getting close to 99, isn't
She's
she?
92.
92. There you go.
Mhm, so she's up
All
there.
right. So we're tied so far. 2 deads, 2 alives. We move on to question number 3.
Tony Bennett.
Tony Bennett's dead.
I feel like he's dead.
Yep. He
Very
is.
good.
I remember being sad when he died. 'cause
Yeah.
he was so lovely.
Was he the not unusual guy? Or was that
No, that's Tom Jones.
same? Like, what's the difference?
Tony Bennett's kind of like he's not quite a crooner,
No, he pretty much was, yeah.
but a little bit. I don't know. He just like so sweet.
He was a great guy. As a matter of fact, Mom and I saw him about, a couple months before he died at Mystic
I
Lake.
think maybe a year before he died.
Was it a year?
Not
It was
too
at Mystic
long.
Lake. I know that.
Yeah, it was great.
We got to sit in the front row about 10 feet from the guy. It was
Mike
wonderful.
Molina was there.
And
Mike
Tony
Molina was
Bennett.
there.
Mhm.
Exactly. Okay, Mike Molina, dead or alive? No, thank you very much.
I'm,
All
gonna,
right.
I'm actually going to try. I know JB has his contact info. I'm going to try to get him on the show one of these days.
Oh yeah.
Who?
Mike Molina.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he was
I'd
on-
love to have him on.
He was
He's a
on
great guy.
JB's show in like August or something.
That's what I heard, yeah.
Yeah, it'd be good to have him on because we haven't heard from him in a long time.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are tied at 3. Everybody's gotten everyone right so far.
Look at us, Mom, knowing stuff.
Mhm.
Hey, look at us.
Next up is Angela Lansbury.
Oh, good luck to you.
Angela Lansbury. I mean, she's one of those people that spent 1,000 forever.
Yeah, she was never young.
Yeah.
I wonder if there's pictures of her young.
I mean, in Beauty and the Beast, she
I know she sounded 1,000.
sounded.
Well, she's
so
always
old.
looked kind of old,
Yeah,
I think.
that's what I'm
I
saying.
don't know, there's pictures of her when she was like in her 20s and she looked young. I guess she just aged real quick all of a sudden.
Angela Lansbury is. I have no idea. I'm gonna
Pass.
say dead, just because.
Going dead. Nana,
I think she's dead.
you're not looking this up on your phone,
I'm
are you?
not.
Oh, she's on her phone over here. I don't trust
No,
you.
I'm adding music to my
What is-
playlist for the ride home.
Oh,
We're
okay.
wrong, aren't we?
You're both correct.
She's dead.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sad that she's dead.
3
I'm-
years ago.
3 years ago.
Didn't she sing the original first part of Beauty and the Beast?
Yeah, she
Yeah,
was Mrs.
Taylor
Potts.
Swift.
There's
time.
no less
I mean,
time.
every single time I listen to that song, I'm like,
Mhm.
ugh.
She was 96.
She's 96?
She would have been 97 5 days later.
Mm.
Oh,
I
I
always hate
love
when
her.
people die close to their birthdays. I
I know.
don't like that.
We have a flat-footed tie, ladies and gentlemen. We go to the
Sure.
final one. We'll see if they tie, because then we'll have to go to a tiebreaker, won't we, Andy?
Well, this is the tiebreaker.
Well, that could be.
It could be the tiebreaker, yes.
Okay.
All right, James Earl Jones.
James Earl Jones is alive.
I vote alive too.
Oh, God.
You both got it.
There you go. 5 in a row. We're going to have to find a better source for people. Honest to God, they nailed every one of those.
These have all been guesses except Tony Bennett. Tony Bennett's the only one that I was like, he's dead. I know he's dead because I was sad when he died. Everybody
Yeah.
else as a guess.
I'm
So
telling you, though, you guys tied all 5 right for both of you.
Look at us.
Should we find a tiebreaker? Okay, I'll do the tiebreaker. You ready, Andy?
this could
And then
keep
you can
going
guess too.
forever.
You can guess too, Andy.
Sure.
Okay. Dead or not dead, Ruth Buzzy.
I know this one.
What do you do?
Mhm.
I don't even know who that is.
Oh, I think I remember you talking about her dying recently.
Oh,
I don't know who that is.
What?
It's been a hard day's
just added it to the playlist.
I got to send a nickel to the Beatles now. Thank you. Okay, so Mom says dead.
I think
Yeah.
so.
Alex,
I don't even know who that is.
I don't either. So
you would. She was
Stay
on
Alive
Laugh-In.
was that
Remember the
movie?
show Laugh-In?
No.
Well, I thought they ran that on cable or
I'll
something.
say alive because then one of us will be right and then the tie will be
Oh,
broken.
there you go.
No, it won't, because the
don't-
mom and dad would be tied if you're wrong.
Well, no, but this is your only
All
one.
right, Alex is alive. She is dead. She died 5 days ago. I
Yeah,
believe.
she just died.
I think I remember
I
that.
saw it
Edward.
on because I followed her on X because she was always doing some very funny stuff, and I think she had an animal rescue place.
Yes,
too,
she did.
so.
She's a very, very nice person, as a matter of fact. Really, I had her on a couple of times on the queue, and she was, I got to be honest, a very, very nice person. Very funny too, actually.
Between her and my life.
Wait,
So
a
I'm
minute.
hoping that the actual dead or not dead on the show when contestants call in. So we're gonna get 2 contestants
Wait
doing
a
it, or
minute.
just one person guessing.
James
what?
Earl Jones was alive, right?
Yes.
Wrong.
He's dead now.
Yeah. Trevor in the chat. He corrected the AI. He actually died last year in September.
Really? So,
So-
well, they would have tied anyway. So
They
would
would have
both
tied
been wrong.
anyway, but yeah, no, you didn't sweep it.
See,
James
this
Earl
is
Jones-
September 9th. He died
Yeah.
September 9th.
I thought I remembered. That's why I was
Really?
going to
I
say that
know.
one is surprising to me because I thought I remembered.
I was unsure.
I loved him. Whenever he called into the morning show, he'd always say, "Good morning, Tom. How are you?" God, I had one of the great voices of all time. Really, really nice man too. I'm sorry to hear that James Earl Jones is dead.
And actually, we have 3 other people who texted in correcting the AI. So
Oh, they see now. This is what we used to do on.
check to the AI because, like I said, AI likes to hallucinate.
You know, it's funny because I asked Grok is the X
Grok.
AI. I asked it. I said, "How is AI ever going to be non-biased if it's fed lies?" And it said, "I can't be unbiased because
That's
I'm
true.
fed lies."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Oh well." So
Well, I actually did an experiment with ChatGTP a while back. People were talking about like you can go to any website and if it's got a political bent, you'll see all sorts of posts about like, look, AI agrees with us because you can ask a question.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
You can be like, why are Republicans so stupid? And it'll be like, here's 5 reasons Republicans are stupid.
mhm.
So
Yeah.
There you go.
I did a test and I just flipped all of the questions to the other side, and it answered the exact same way. So instead
Really?
of 5 reasons Republicans are stupid, it give me 5 reasons Democrats are stupid. So AI will
Interesting.
tell you what you want to hear as long as you phrase it in a way where it's obvious you want to hear something.
And by the way, if you want to send in names of people who are dead or not dead, or just on the brink of death, you could send it. Where do they send it, Andy?
Well, you can text 612-361-6622 or just hit the SMS icon on our app. That'll work too.
That'll work. Absolutely.
Or go to our website, check out the chat room, or I wouldn't say email is the best option because I'm already looking at the chat and I'm already looking at the texts and I'm already looking at 1,000 other things. I don't really check emails that often during the show.
No.
So you want to do chat or what?
Chat or
Text.
text. Those are going to be
Chat
the
or
two
text, the best
options.
way to go. Yeah, we'll get that done. I think that's a good idea.
Oh,
That works for me.
well, unless this is a trick question. Trevor says Joe got a good one, Keith Richards. But if I'm not mistaken, Keith Richards is immortal. So
He's never going to die.
I
No
actually think he's
lie.
been dead for 20 years, and
yeah, he's a zombie at this point.
he's just a zombie.
I think that's the deal. Yeah, this is getting in the swing of things. I remember this game used to be a lot of fun. It would take like a half an hour to play it, even though you only play the game for about 10 minutes. It's just the comments afterward.
Mhm.
And by the way, when we play these games, you are more than welcome to either text in or call in to comment on it as well, because that's how the whole thing blows up and becomes really fun when people reach out and go, "Oh, it's all bull." Well, like you guys did already.
Yeah. Well, Gary the mailman thinks that we should have people send in mail so he can deliver it.
Perfect.
Yes, well, there you go. To mail him in so Gary can deliver it. He still have
I
a
like it.
job. I like
Although
that.
he's up in Duluth, so it might be a long drive.
Well, if they're listening in Duluth, we're happy about that.
Well, if someone is, at least Gary the mailman is. So there you go.
There you go. That's what I'm saying about it.
How is
Okay,
up
we
there? Slightly less sweltering.
Today's not supposed to be as hot.
No.
78 already.
I know, but it's
Horrible.
beautiful.
No, wait, it's 80. Horrible.
was it 80 today?
No, it's going to be 84
It's gonna be
today.
84.
Oh,
We're gonna take
80s are
all the
perfect.
third graders out for ice cream.
Yuck.
Big babies.
All right. So we promised, by the way, the next time we play Dead or Not Dead, next Wednesday, Catherine and I will be in Studio A there. Well, that'll be wonderful.
We will.
And also, there'll be no cheating.
Oh, and Monday we have the day off, right?
We do?
Because it's Memorial
Oh,
Day.
Memorial Day.
Oh, that's
This
the
Monday.
following
No,
week.
it's not.
Never
no, that's the
mind.
following week. Yeah.
Yeah, we're actually going to have some guests on, well, a guest on who is relevant to Memorial Day next week.
Well, works for me.
Okay.
So there you go.
Okay, so Dead or Not Dead, we're about to get a guest. So when we, and I mean, like I said, the game, I remember when we started the game many, many years ago on the queue, it took a while to kind of figure it out and how it worked and people responding. So, because I want everybody to respond, even if you're not one of the contestants, call in, because we got a call today saying, no, that's wrong. He actually is dead. Right.
Yep. We sure did.
So yeah, that's how the game works, and that's why it works so well, because you can't always rely on the internet, correct?
We can't always rely on AI. And that's what I
AI,
was
yeah,
talking
it's a
about, how
better way to
people
put
are
it.
like using AI instead of Google and that sort of thing.
Mhm.
Like, yeah, Google can be biased for sure, but AI will just make things up.
Really?
Yep. Well, like what I said, it made up the fact that James Earl Jones is still alive.
Well,
And I mean,
that's true,
Could be,
yeah.
That could be excused as, the data that it harvested or whatever was old,
Mhm.
because you have to train AI on data, and
Yeah.
that takes a long time. And in that amount of time, things can change. So it's like, it's excusable, but you can get it to say things that are just so weird. I remember people were trying to get it to say all sorts of stuff. And it's like, one person, it told that you should eat 2 to 3 small rocks per day for ideal digestion.
Okay.
Okay.
And another person asked, how do I get the wrinkles out of my scrotum? And it said,
Oh.
you can use a clothing iron to get those
Oh,
out.
sure. That'll do it.
Okay.
It's like-
All right. Why don't we take a break?
That kind of crap all the time.
We have a very special guest in studio right after
we do.
this. Retirement make you uncomfortable. Sometimes the anxiety for wondering if you saved enough can be overwhelming. But what if I told you that you could ease those tensions in just 48 minutes? My guy, Josh Arnold, Mr. Money Talk, can sit down with you and get you on the right track for your financial future. Josh has navigated it all when it comes to uncertain market and economic conditions, and he'll always provide straight talk. Never sugar-coated advice on how to reach the finish line with your retirement goals. Don't let your financial worries give you an ulcer or keep you from calling Josh right now. His 48-minute no-obligation consultation could be just what you need to feel better about your future. Call Josh today at 952-925-5608. Set up your free 48-minute no-obligation consultation. That's 952-925-5608. Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC Security Investment Advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments must involve risk. You know that. All comments and opinions of Josh Arnold do not constitute investment advice. I am a paid endorser. All right, you're listening. You're listening to us. Your customers are listening to us, and they'll hear me generally, and maybe the whole show, promote their business, your business. The Tom Bernard Podcast attracts thousands of listeners who are loyal, engaged, and ready to support businesses they trust. Our podcast has helped numerous businesses increase traffic, sales, and brand recognition. We're not just about ads. We are about results. Whether you're a local business or a national brand, we offer custom advertising packages designed to fit your unique needs and goals. Our audience spans multiple demographics. That's the part that I love most about it. I mean, people from 20 to 90 listen to the show. We love that. It allows you to target your ideal customers with precision, from millennials to baby boomers and everyone in between. So increase your brand awareness. With a broad reach and passionate following, your business will see increased visibility and awareness translated into more customers and sales. So you ready to get started? Visit tombernardshow.com, click on the partner tab, and let's discuss how we can work together to grow your business. Thank you. So about 35 years ago, something like that. I think it was about 35 years ago. I'm at a Minnesota Gopher basketball game. I'm sitting and by the way, that's still one of my favorite arenas in the world. I love the raised floor. I love the place.
Mm-hmm.
Are they getting any people in there anymore?
No.
That's what I heard.
And it's not because of who was the head coach and whatnot. It's twofold. It's because who's running the department, and also who is the way college sports is being run today.
Yeah, it's a different deal, isn't it?
Hi, JB, by the way.
Hi.
Haven't seen you in a million years.
Yeah.
By
Do
the
we
way,
need a light on
JB's the
JB?
show.
What's that?
Do we need a light on JB?
Are you saying that because he's black?
Ring light.
Because he's
Let's
Way to
lighten
go,
that
Kath.
skin
very
up a little
dark.
bit.
There.
He's very dark. Did you hear that, JB?
Oh, I
I'm
need a
just-
light too. Look, what?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, Andy's in the
I know, I'm
shadows.
always like-
Shadowy I am now.
I'm always, Andy's dark and brooding.
He's dark and
Turn
brooding.
on a light.
Yeah, it's the way God made him.
Looking
Yeah.
good.
There we go.
So in any case, I'm sitting at the game, and this young man comes, sits down next to me, and we start talking about this, that, and the other thing. That was
Oh,
what
no.
about?
No. Mark
Okay.
Rosen actually introduced us.
Oh, that's right. Mark Rosen was there.
Yeah.
So that was almost 36 years ago. Maybe even 30, maybe even longer than that.
Well, because John will be 36 in November. So
The one JB I really like.
he goes by JBJ.
JB Jr.
No, JBJ.
What's the J for?
Well, it's for Junior, but it's for J.
I know. That's what I was asking.
So his son's going to be JBJB, and then it's going to be JBJBJ. We'll just
No,
continue that way.
he'll be JB Trey.
JB Trey. There you go.
Oh,
Not
nice.
Trey, but Quad.
How is your son?
JB Quad. That's quite the name.
Yeah. He'll just be Quad. No, he'll be Trey. I'm getting mixed up. I don't have any grandchildren yet. He's fine. He's doing great. He's working at I can never remember the name of the company, but it's in Art Hills, and it's a company that does printing, and he is a graphic artist by education and trade. So he's doing great.
I'm
He's
glad
not
to hear that.
married. He is living with a kid that I coached in hockey, they grew up together, but that kid's having a girlfriend and kids move in soon. So it's
Uh-oh.
not gonna move out.
Oh dear.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
That's going to be a problem.
Yeah.
By the way, this segment is sponsored by North American Banking Company. Go to nabanco.com to learn more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. JB is a podcaster. The name of your podcast?
And I didn't do this. The Podbean did this. They put "the" in front of the title I picked. So it's called The JB's Low Tech Podcast.
VJB.
So,
DJB. Well,
yeah.
it rhymes at least.
mhm.
Yeah, there you go. How many years now?
It was started during the COVID outbreak.
Is that
Yeah.
recent?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I
it
feel
was.
like you did it a long time ago, but I
No,
guess
it
not.
was. Well, you got to remember the COVID outbreak started in 19.
That's true. Technically, it was like 5.5 years ago.
God,
Right.
It's amazing.
So so it was started 2019, but because people were not allowed to work and whatnot,
Mhm.
I had to go to work. I was deemed an essential employee, so I had to go in for at least 4 hours a day over at the U.
Huh.
So
We deemed ourselves essential and just did the podcast anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it worked out just beautifully. So that's good. So how often your podcast on? Where do they find it?
you can find it on Apple, Podbean, on various outlets that I didn't subscribe to or knew that existed, but people told me.
Oh, yeah,
and I was like,
Ours is
Yeah.
like that too. Some people are like, "Oh yeah, I was listening to you over on Spotify." I'm like, "We're on Spotify?"
you know,
Yeah, they populate all over the place.
Yeah.
Sure do.
yeah,
Mhm.
there's one called Outcast, and it was
Yep.
like,
Podcast.
yeah, and it was like, huh? So yeah, it's young man that was a intern of mine who's now down at TCU. He was the one who told me that. So, and about the same time that I started an equipment repair business,
Well, there you go.
and it has really taken off. And I work out of my home in the morning, and then in the afternoons, I go to a softball training center in Eagan called Strike Zone Sports. And two of my former athletes own that, and they allow me to hang out for 4 hours a day. And I fix stuff for them, but then customers can come there, or I get customers from them. So it's worked out really wonderful.
What do you fix?
Baseball gloves, softball gloves, hitting nets,
Okay.
bags. I've fixed all type of stuff. I've fixed some goalie equipment for hockey. It's just taken my skills that I learned over 40 something years of being over at the university, and that the skills you get to keep. And so it was, before I retired, I started buying the stuff I knew I was going to need. And I was able to hit the ground running. So I had a plan for once I hit retirement.
Well, that's a good deal. By the way, your name came up a few weeks ago. Catherine and I were flying from Minneapolis back to West Palm Beach.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sitting there, I'm on the aisle, and Catherine's looking out the window. She looks at me and goes, "Is that Glenn Mason?" I look over, the guy sitting next to me is Glenn Mason. He didn't notice me, and I didn't notice him.
Yeah. Nice awareness, you guys.
Really
Yeah.
good awareness.
I saw him about a year ago, and a year and a half ago, and I had to take a double look. It's like, is that Mason? Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it was Mason. But that was another reason I spent a lot of time around you, because when Glenn Mason was the head coach of the football team over at the University of Minnesota, he invited me in 3 days a week to work out in the gym
Hello.
with all the people. It was a wonderful facility. I hope it's still there.
Well, they built a new football facility.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right. So it's
Yeah, recently. So, I mean, they've.
Money's no object.
Well, no, it definitely is. And it's really going to be in a few months. It's really going to be. But they built that. They did some improvements to, John got the baseball stadium rebuilt. They did some improvements to softball. But then there was they were able to add on a wing for tutoring and for life skills. And underneath that was there's a cafeteria that any student on campus can use as long as you got a meal plan. But it was just a nice place for the athletes to be able to get to once they were done working out that day and practicing and whatnot. So, and then less than a year ago, somehow, some way, they were able to wedge a women's gymnastics training center.
Oh,
So,
cool.
but
Little spendy.
yeah, but with starting in July 1st, if this settlement, and right now my podcast, that's what I talk about, is the business of sports,
Mhm.
especially college sports. And starting July 1st, athletes will be paid directly by the schools.
Oh, that's right. They're getting
Mm.
paid now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
wow.
right.
You think
now
that's a
they're-
good thing?
Me?
Yeah.
Yes, but of course, the way colleges work, they totally screwed up how the how the implementation was done. Everybody, when it comes to college sports, everybody blames the NCAA. Just to set people straight, the NCAA is only a body that enforces rules. That office. That's all it does. The member institutions make all the laws, and those are the schools.
Mm.
And the schools agree to what is called NIL, which is name, image, and likeness,
Mm.
and which allows the athletes to use their name or their image or their likeness or whatever to make money. And the way it was supposed to work, like, I'm a college coach and I recruit Andy.
Good luck.
And
Unlikely.
Good luck. Yeah. Let me think that one through for you.
all right. I recruit Alex
There we go.
for women's gymnastics, and because one of the highest grossing athletes in the NIL world is a female gymnast.
Mhm.
Hmm.
From what I understand, she's a terrible gymnast, but she's
Huh.
Really?
yes,
Active on TikTok.
yeah, very active on
Oh,
TikTok
yeah.
and
There we go.
other outlets, and she's making money off of creepy young boys.
Oh.
Ooh.
Gross.
Now, what do you mean by making money off a creepy young boy?
So she's the face of not Lululemon, but some other different
Athleta or something.
something like that. Yeah,
Huh.
and she's making a boatload of money and whatnot.
Oh, someone in the chat knows who we're talking about. Do we want to say the name?
Sure.
I
Oh.
mean,
She's
it's-
public.
She thinks it's Livy Dunn.
Yes, that's
Oh, there you
exactly
go.
who it is.
Ooh, nailed it.
Liddy.
Livy.
Livy.
Livy
Done.
done.
Oh yeah,
And
she likes to post pictures without a whole lot of clothing on. Huh?
Right,
Ah,
Like I
well,
said,
she knows what she's doing.
right. A bunch of
Yes.
creepy young boys
Mhm.
and probably older men too. But
Ew, 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 ew.
So I recruit Alex. She comes on campus. This is the way NIL is supposed to work. She agrees to come to the school. Tom has a business and he wants Alex to be the face of his business.
Mhm.
And you two agree to an amount of money, and then she gets paid and you handle the paperwork and whatnot, the tax stuff. And that's how it's supposed to work. It was not supposed to be an inducement at all.
Mm.
That's where the problem came into it, because schools didn't implement it right. They went straight 60 miles an hour to inducement, to Alex, we'll give you $100,000 a year to come to our school.
Oh,
And that was never the intention of name, image, and likeness. It was either kids create their own business, or once they got to campus, somebody thinks that they would be a great face for their business and would pay them money. A car dealership may have them show up and sign autographs, or a kid might, instead of working his coach's camp, would have his own football or baseball camp. back in his hometown, and he could make money off of it. They could start their own clothing line. That was the proper intent for that.
Sure.
You probably heard about a month or half ago, there was a young man named Nico Imalvialva. That's
Yes, I remember.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, if you take his name and put the hyphen right in the right place, it would be Nico, I'm a leaving.
Nico, I'm a leaving. See you later.
It's a lot
Right.
easier to say.
Oh yeah, here it is. I am a Liava.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He before he went to the University of Tennessee, agreed to an NIL deal with whatever collective was supports their athletic department. Like we have one here. It's called the Dinkytown Collective.
Mhm.
But whichever one down there. And it was for $2.4 million.
Jeez.
He agreed to it. He didn't even play his first year there. He redshirted, but he still got paid.
Ooh.
Then what would be his second year in college, but his redshirt year of eligibility finally started, got the team to the college football playoff, or helped get the team to the college football playoff. And unbeknownst to most of the public, tried to renegotiate his deal before the first game of the playoff.
Smart kid.
Jesus.
Probably has an
Didn't
agent.
happen. Everybody thought they had squashed it, just that and the other. Got to spring practice, got through most of spring practice. Then you and a lot of schools are going away from what was called the spring game, which was like the payoff for beating yourself up for 14 days in the spring and not having any payoff of like a game or whatever. So you would have a spring scrimmage. They called it a spring game.
Mhm.
Got to the day before the spring game, and he did the same thing.
Hmm.
Asked for more money and did not come to the practice before that.
Mm.
And then word got out, and then he didn't come to the spring game. And he's represented. Most of these young men and women are represented by fly-by-night agents or really bad parents,
Mm.
or some good agents. The good agents treat them like pros, only charge them like 2 to 5%. These fly-by-night guys are taking 20%,
Right.
15 to 20% from these kids.
Yikes.
Yeah. Or the parents who, in Nico's case, it was his dad who thought this was the time to strike and renegotiate, or
Mhm.
he could transfer, because that's the other thing. You can now, twice a year, put your name in what's called the transfer portal, and it's not a place you go to, it's just a website, but that's the term and name it was given. And you can make your intention known to everybody, every team in the country that you're looking to move.
With your price tag?
Then you negotiate a price tag. But here's the problem. Every year, there's thousands of, like at the end of the football season, there's thousands upon thousands of young men in that portal, and 45% of them land nowhere.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, that makes sense. I have a question for you.
And they lose their scholarship at that point at the school.
Oh.
Yeah.
So my question for you is this:
Yeah.
are they going to get some people? This just started last year? Is that right? To start paying players?
NIL, this is year 2.
Yeah. So it was last year.
Yeah.
The reason I'm bringing that up is, how about people that were playing there 3-4 years ago? Are they coming up going, now wait a minute, you're paying them, because some of these guys are making what, $2.5-3 million bucks?
Yeah, it's always the quarterbacks. Sometimes it's a defensive lineman or a receiver, but for the most part, the big money people are the quarterbacks.
And we are talking 2.5-3
million. Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, geez, if you can work that out through 5 years of college, because can you do it for 5 years?
Well, you can
Maybe a
only,
fifth-year
have
senior?
4 years of eligibility per
Oh,
se.
Yeah.
okay.
We're one of the things where the schools screwed themselves was doing the circle back to the COVID outbreak. They allowed to everybody to participate, but the year didn't count.
Oh,
So then they backlogged their own system.
oh boy.
I mean, there was a young man who finally stopped playing college football last year, his 9th year at the
Oh,
Oh my God.
that's
between the COVID year he got, the 4-year eligibility, the extra year COVID, and some injury red shirts. His 9th year, and now you have a group of young, and it's mostly young football players, but it's athletes all over the board, and some basketball players who are figuring out, I'm never going to play pro
right.
in the NBA or NFL. I might be in the UFL or go play basketball overseas or something, or the G League. It's more profitable for me to just stay in school. So they're now suing the member institutions of the NCAA
You knew it.
and the office of the NCAA to stay in college
Forever?
but for
Forever.
another year or two. And it's
Well,
like,
it kind of makes sense for a fifth-year senior because there's a lot of people that don't finish college in 4 years if they have to work. And I mean, a lot of athletes don't get the credits in.
well, if you there was a stipulation that was put in place. If you graduated in 4 years, you were given a 5th year. Because the original rule was you had 5 years to play 4 seasons.
Oh, okay.
So if it was just the fact that you needed to take a year to catch up academically, or you got hurt or something like that, then you were granted that 5th year to
Yeah, that makes sense actually
stick
to me.
around.
Trevor in the chat would like to get your opinion on the Shadur Sanders stuffed from the draft, whatever that means.
What are these words?
Shadur Sanders is the son of the famous football player Deion Sanders.
Oh,
Deion,
Even I know who that is.
right?
yeah.
Deion
There
was
you go.
a two-way professional athlete, which is rarely seen. He played baseball for the Atlanta Braves and Cincinnati Reds, and he played football for Dallas, San Francisco, Atlanta. But
Wow.
wherever he went, those teams had success. But he was a cornerback. He played on defense, which is very odd that you'd have an impact player on defense who's not a defensive lineman who can go tackle the quarterback. This is a guy who basically, because of his speed and skills, would shut down half the field as a passing possibility because he was so fast and so quick he could cover your top receiver and basically what they would use the term shut them down. Deion had a great career, and then he moved into high school coaching, and then he coached at a HBCU and had a couple of great years there, including recruiting the number one recruit in the country to go there, which is Jackson State, which is unheard of for an HBCU, historically black college or university. And 2 years down there, they did really well. They didn't win the championship, but they got to the championship game both years. And the University of Colorado came a calling, and they took Deion, and Deion brought his son, and he brought the young man who won the Heisman Trophy this past year.
Hmm.
So, and in 2 years, they've brought back the University of Colorado, which was probably the worst Division I football team in the country.
Probably all stoned.
That's a possibility.
Colorado,
To,
just thinking.
to relevancy. They won 8 or 9 games this past year. They were must-see TV. The TV networks were fighting over broadcasting their games and this, that, and the other. And the schools, they love this because they get their free TV commercial. If you ever watch a sporting event,
Yeah.
at some point there'll be a commercial where people are holding up test tubes with colored water in it, and it tells you to come to their school. So the schools love those, when their school teams are on, because they get their free commercial. And the other thing is the schools are now forcing their athletic departments to be 100% self-sufficient. So his kid was, when I sat there and watched him drop in the draft, he went from a supposed first rounder to being picked in the 5th round by the same team that was supposed to pick him in the 1st round, Cleveland. And some people claim there was conspiracy. I kind of thought about it was at first that maybe either he or his dad ticked off so many people during his interview process that nobody wanted to be bothered with Dion. Then you started to hear about the terrible interviews that Shedeur had when he went. He would show up with an entourage.
Oh, God.
He's a very bright young man, but when he was talking, none of that came out.
No, it's unfortunate.
He brought the street with him.
Alex has to hit the road, don't you?
I do indeed.
I knew. I was looking. You were looking like you were getting nervous.
I gotta go.
Well, we'll take a break here, but Alex, we will talk to you tomorrow.
You'll talk to me on Friday.
On Friday, that's right.
Except
No, we'll not talk to you on Friday.
No,
You will
won't.
not talk to me. I will talk to
Someone.
everyone else I will talk to Andy on Friday.
Yes.
There you go. All right.
It was
We'll take a
good
break.
to
Be
see
right back in a couple minutes. Alex,
Bye.
safe trip. Let me tell you about my bank, North American Banking Company. When it comes to banking, it's all about trust, and that's what you get with them. They've been around since 1998. They've always made it clear, and they're here to give you a better banking experience with a focus on the local community. And you won't be dealing with some AI chatbot either. You'll get straight answers and quick decisions from real people that you know. They know you, your situation. They're always ready to help, too. So if you're tired of being a big national bank, want something better? Stop by and see my friends at North American Banking Company. Visit nabanco.com to learn more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Many car dealers try to create an extreme sense of urgency. Does anybody really buy it?
We gotta sell 100 cars by Saturday to get the boss off the roof. Or, you'll never see these rebates again. And oh yeah, your trade will never be worth more.
Really? I asked Jim Paul from Valley Buick GMC in Apple Valley and Valley GMC in Hastings his thoughts.
I don't even know what to say. I hope folks are smarter than that.
Has there really ever been a time when it was urgent?
Probably not, but this tariff environment might be a first. Valley has several hundred pre-tariff units on the ground. Who knows what's going to happen with the tariffs, but these are really safe buys. Going forward, Valley's committed to make whatever the situation is as painless as possible, like we've always done.
Where can we find you then?
Get them pre-tariff. Hurry, hurry, hurry. When they're gone, they're gone. And man,
At a Valley store in Apple Valley or Hastings or valleycardealers.com. Certainly not on a roof.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen. We still have to get Jim. I'm going to have to call Jim Paul when I get back to town and demand that he come in and do the show because he is a terrific guest. Jim Paul, Valley Hills, been around forever. I've known him almost, I guess, about 40 years. Been known a long time, but we got to get him in because he's a very, very funny guy. This part of the show is brought to you by Mr. Money Talk, Josh Arnold. Call Josh today for your free 48-minute evaluation at 952-925-5608. JB in studio. Again, the name of your podcast, JB.
And again, I'll tell you all, I didn't do this. I did this. They put the word "the" in front of the title. I picked the JB's Low Tech Podcast. And the reason for low tech, the first time I did it, I was amazed that I even recorded anything. So
you did it out of your apartment, didn't you?
Yeah, out of my condo. Yes.
Your condo, yeah. There you go.
Yes, and I still do it out of my condo.
Oh, do you? Okay. But it's
out of
going
my-
well. Everything's good.
Yeah, out of my second bedroom that I don't have a reason to use it for, but that and an office.
So John never comes over and spends the night with you?
No, it is odd. He does come and hang out more now.
Oh, he does?
Really?
Well, that's
Yeah.
good.
That's nice.
Yeah, he is, unfortunately for him, he beyond getting some of his looks from his dad, from me, and unfortunately, and some from his mother, fortunately, he also got depression from his mom and anxiety from his dad, and he was really going through some tough stuff, and kind of helping him through the best I could. And he came over, he asked to come over one day, and I was like, yeah, sure. And we were sitting there talking, and all of a sudden he reached in his pocket and he pulled out something, and it was a coin. And I'm like, huh? And I realized it was a sobriety coin.
Oh.
He came on his own, to had an epiphany that the thing he would do when depression and anxiety came was that he would drink.
A lot of people do that.
Yeah.
Which made it worse.
Well, very few people get drunk because they feel so good to begin with.
Right.
So
that's true. Yes.
So he came to that realization, and he's been over a year sober now, and he's very happy. He's of course looking for an apartment or something. I keep trying to push him into ownership, but he's a little nervous to that. And I remember going through the process with Catherine, and I know how nervous I was, and she was how nervous I was. By the way, my faucets are still clean.
Yay.
Well, that's good. Glad to hear it.
But he's when he was a little kid, he was that very happy little kid.
Mm-hmm.
He's that happy young man now.
Oh, so good.
It's back.
I'm glad to hear that, because he is one of the nicest people you'd ever want to know. He's just a very nice man.
And it's funny, I get these photos from him of people that he's meeting at, his sessions or 12, whatever you want to, AA meetings or whatever you want to call it.
Yep.
Meetings of people that know me. It's like,
oh, really? Whoops.
Oh, didn't know that person had an issue, but I won't mention any names. But yeah, some of them I went to college with, and some people I met after college and whatnot. And it's just funny that all of a sudden now he's running into the same people, and he didn't know them before, but he's running into the same people, and he's making connections all over the place. He sits on the art commission board in the city of Richfield, where he lives, and he's just happy, and he's just moving in the art world. So I don't worry about him anymore. So
well, I'm glad to hear that, because like I said, one of the nicest guys you ever want to meet. He was a kid when I first met him. He was a little kid, but I ran into him a few years ago, and just the same really, really nice guy. And it's interesting about that, because I stopped drinking now, 17 years ago, Catherine?
I think that's right.
I think it's 17 years ago now. And at first, when I quit drinking, I went to AA meetings and stuff because I don't know if I needed them or not. And as it turned out, I haven't touched it in 17 years and didn't care about it, because some people have a much tougher time. But those AA meetings can get really interesting. I will tell you that I've been there when very, very famous people, I can't say who, but most of them were musicians. I can tell you that. I'll tell you that part. But I will never forget one guy. He intentionally looked a lot like Elvis Presley. He had the sequin shirts and the tight pants and the combed black hair and the whole deal. And he's listened to this guy go on and on and on about, being a drunk and giving it up and this, that, and the other thing. And I could hear him starting to go, the Elvis guy. It starts to huff and puff. And I'm like, what's that all about? And all of a sudden he goes, you people just don't understand. I love being a drunk. I go, oh, okay. We understand. I mean, stuff does happen in those meetings.
Yeah, I can only imagine. I don't ask him about anything. I understand the privacy for not only for him but the other people who are there, and I don't want to screw up something for him. So
yeah, I understand that.
But no, I'm just happy to
Get
see
off
him
of there.
Shut up.
See him happy.
What's happening?
She's the honored. Did you
I'm
look at
listening.
her? No, you weren't. You were sitting there. I could tell by looking at
Talking
you
about
on the
his son.
screen.
I have been listening.
You and Alex both. You get stuff going during the show. It's like, stop doing that. Pay attention. But she's all excited because we're going to England in this July, and so she's all excited about going.
Well, congratulations on that. I mean, I've come to the realization I can't go across the sea.
Why?
Not because, I've pretty much gotten over my fear of flying. I mean,
that's good.
And whatnot. This pops up in my dreams, like maybe once a month or whatever. I'm one of those people who has a fear of statues.
Statues?
Oh.
Yes, there's an actual.
Is there a name for that? There probably is.
And in my dreams, they come alive and try to attack me and things like that. And
really? Where did that come from?
Did you ever have a traumatic experience near a statue?
Yeah.
No.
No?
I mean, the only thing I can think of is, of course, I was a altar boy. He was a kid, Catholic kid.
Sure.
And sometimes, we had to get there before service. So, sometimes you walked into a pretty much dark church.
Yeah.
And
creepy. Yeah.
And creepy statues.
Well, and there's also, I remember in the past, I don't know if they're still doing it, but there was these people who would dress themselves up to look like statues.
Oh, they're still doing it.
They'd stand perfectly still in public.
Really?
Or would walk by and they'd like go, bah.
Yeah.
It's a good way to get punched.
Freak me out.
They do get punched.
They do. I bet.
They do.
Facebook feed is full of, for some reason, of course, you touch it once and then it just.
Yeah.
Statues, either bronze or gold, they will paint themselves in their clothing and all that as bronze or gold statues.
Yes, they do.
Or the latest thing now is plants.
Oh,
Vietnam War kind of situation?
No.
Suits?
Just, something you'll find out in front of a restaurant or a store. And you can't, after a while you can pick it out. But if you were just to walk past it, you wouldn't know.
Oh.
And people walk by, or they go to stand to take a picture next to it, and that person in the costume will eventually move. They don't move at them; they'll just move.
Right.
And that's just enough to send these people screaming or punching or running away or whatnot. But yeah,
well, that started in Vegas, didn't it? If I remember correctly, Vegas is the first place that they had those fake statues. That are actually people.
I saw it in New York way back when.
Yeah, New York too.
Yeah, New York. They were all over the place for a long time.
And the thing they like to do now is to sit actually next to a real statue.
So you don't know which one's which?
Oh.
And people come over to take a photo and,
they pounce.
Yeah.
It's not a good way to get punched.
Probably.
I mean, I would think that'd be weird.
You never see anybody get punched, but you see the people like kick at them or whatnot.
Oh,
yeah.
God.
Yeah, if you're just not thinking and all of a sudden something weird moves, you're going to probably react. Could you take a ship? Could you go on a cruise ship overseas?
No, it's not the travel. It is I know those, at least in my head, what people go to see is the architecture and this, that, and the other. And there's tons of statues. I mean, just seeing photos of those places gives me the willies.
That's interesting. You know, where do you have any idea where it came from?
Like it's have no outside of possibly the Catholic being in the
A
Catholic
lot,
Church.
a lot of statues. That's true. Yeah.
I have no idea. I had
That's
never.
amazing.
Well, there's lots of places you could go that aren't, you wouldn't have to go to the Vatican. You wouldn't have to go to the
Yeah.
cities. You could go some like Switzerland if you want to just go hiking. There's no statues running around out there, I don't think. Right? I never saw big statues.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
But yeah, that's just a realization that I came. And like I said, it just all of a sudden I'll be dreaming, and because I do dream at least once a night, so I must be getting pretty good sleep.
Yeah.
And I do go to sleep, even though I do have sleep apnea, like my dad did. So, Tom remembers that the cure for him was a tracheotomy.
Yeah. That's
Oh,
right.
really?
Yep.
Yes. They did a tracheotomy. They since have stopped doing that, I believe. I sleep with a device that
CPAP or
no,
whatever.
not a CPAP. It's a dental device that keeps my jaw open just enough where I don't snore and I don't cough or choke or anything.
Yeah, I feel like a CPAP would be like I couldn't sleep with one of those on.
Yeah, I probably couldn't either.
Yeah,
because I wear contacts during the day, but at night, at a certain time, I'll wear glasses,
mm-hmm.
and I fall asleep watching TV, and I'll wake up, and my glasses have been taken off my face and put where they should be put.
Really?
And I absolutely have no remembrance of doing it.
You do sleep hard.
Yeah.
It's not a bad thing.
I wish I slept like that.
What are you going to do?
And I'm a very light sleeper. Like I've heard stuff fall off the walls in my condo and like, huh? It's like, I'll get up and see what fell off the, because sometimes I use those 3M strips.
Oh yeah.
Those.
Crappy.
And sometimes I don't put enough of them on a really heavy frame. And it's like, oh, it's that. Okay. Well, it's not broken. I can go back to sleep and deal with it in the morning. But yeah.
As we go out here, your podcast again, how do people find it?
They can find it on Podbean, on Apple Podcasts,
everywhere,
all different type of places. I've gotten a lot of nice responses back from people.
Oh, good.
People, I've interviewed people like John Anderson, Joel Maturi, different coaches, former athletes at the U, to people in the sport business world. And a lot of times it's just me riffing on a topic that that's hot in the sports news world, but coming from a different perspective than most people in the media, in the sense I spent 40 years on sidelines, dugouts, and so I have a little different perspective because I would talk to coaches and administrators about these issues. So
yeah, that does make sense. All right, to close, is there one person that you'd love to get on your podcast, but you haven't been able to get them on yet? And it could be somebody who's even dead. Somebody you would have loved to have on your podcast,
Well,
like James Earl Jones.
Yeah, like James Earl Jones. Somebody who's dead.
I would do it this way. Dad, my parents.
Aww.
I love
that makes sense.
Able to, because I did one with my dad's brother a couple of years before he passed, and he was able to give some family history that my siblings, older, because I'm the seventh of 9, that my older siblings didn't even know. Alive, and you'll get a chuckle of this, a former co-worker of yours that, and I actually ran into him at the grocery store.
Oh, okay.
And it was Tony. It's
Tony Lee?
Yeah. I've asked him a couple of times, and he's
we've been having
busy.
a hard time getting him on too.
Yeah, but it's basically him, because if you do listen to my podcast, the music or the sounder that I come in with and a different one I come out with were both done by him for
Oh.
not for my podcast, but for the morning show.
Oh, right. Yeah, absolutely. I
Yeah.
tell you, the one thing about him that was amazing, he used to do so many different characters, but you look at that was 35 years ago. There is no way he could do those characters now.
No.
No, a
not
lot
most
of them like talk and
Yeah.
Yeah, talk with talk. Yeah, I'm not doing that anymore.
No,
Mhm.
there's a lot of them that people would say that you can't do the Mel Brooks movie Blazing Saddles
Mm.
Yeah,
today.
couldn't do that.
Why not?
I believe that Mel Brooks would be able, and Richard Pryor, who helped him write it,
Yes. Yep.
they would still find a way to be able to do it.
It's a phenomenal movie, and people should just leave it alone because it's really good.
Yeah, I
Right.
mean, there would be a lot of changes, but I think
Yeah.
they would still be able to do some version of it and have it be really funny.
I wonder if they have ever made a TV edit of that movie.
Oh, I bet they have.
Yeah.
I feel like it would be kind of like
Oh, yeah.
incomprehensible at that point.
Oh yeah, they believe me, they have, and it's shown all the time.
Huh.
Because
What does he like literally say? The sheriff is near in that one?
yeah, the sheriff is near.
Oh God,
It's
I
not-
forgot about that.
It's not what's in the movie. It's the sheriff is near.
Mhm.
That's exactly how.
He's actually saying it there.
Yeah, the sheriff, and the people go, "What?" And he goes, "The sheriff is near." And anybody who's seen the original goes, "He ain't saying near."
He ain't saying near.
You know,
That's
it's so
exactly
strange
right.
because I mean, being from Minneapolis, that's been a very taboo word for my
Oh,
entire
yeah.
life.
Yeah.
Oh, God,
I've
yes.
never heard anybody call anybody like that in Minneapolis. But down here, you're walking around and you hear the rap music coming out of everybody's windows,
Oh,
and
yeah.
that word is used
Yeah.
nonstop, and you're just like, I can't stand. It makes me crazy.
I'm going back home for my 45th class reunion.
Are you going to St. Louis?
Yeah, next month, early next month, and the use of the word by black people towards other black people makes me stop and go, please don't do that.
Yeah, I
They're
understand.
like,
that.
what? And it's like, just don't, just can't you use the word brother? Can't you use
Fam's cool with the youth
Fam-
nowadays.
right,
What?
Dude.
friend, dude?
Are you going to go
partner?
eat at Tony's?
What's that?
You going to Tony's for a nice steak?
Oh, Tony's steak knife on campus?
No, there's one downtown, got a block from the arch.
Oh, you talking about in St. Louis?
Yeah, St. Louis, right? Exactly.
Oh, I thought you were talking about here.
No. When you're there, you're going to go see Tony.
I don't think so. My weekend's probably going to be pretty, because they have all the activities.
Mhm.
But then when you got 7 out of your 8 siblings who still live there,
Yeah.
Oh, you got a
Yeah.
lot of visiting to do.
right? The 8th lives in Atlanta. Yeah, it's amazing we're all still alive.
Well, it is true. Well, I'll tell you one thing about that restaurant. First time Catherine ever went there with me, we went upstairs, ate dinner, and the server went, what? He kept going, what? Like that. The guy who was sitting at the table next to us had ordered some kind of fish on the bone, the whole deal, right? He said, he comes up and he goes, "Sir, did you see him eat?" And I said, "No, I didn't." He goes, "Well, where are the bones?" The guy ate the fish, the skin, and the bones.
There are people who can do that, and I just don't know if they're able-
Man.
It's supposed to be really good for you.
It is.
Yeah.
Lots of calcium or something.
No,
If you
thank you.
smoke salmon just right, you can eat the skin. It's really good.
Yeah.
But not the bone, not the bones.
No, I know, not the
No,
bones.
no.
'Cause
JB, good luck with your podcast. Everything going well.
appreciate
Say hello to the family for me, would you
I
please?
will. I appreciate the invite, Andy.
Yeah, we'll have to have you on more often these days.
Yeah, just the timing is right now because from 3 to 7, that's where I'm in strike zone sports.
Yeah, we
So-
are kind of in the middle of the workday, so there's that.
Yeah, so for me, it actually works. So if I want somebody to, like, I had somebody drop off a glove at 9:30 today. So at my home, and then I can come here and hang out, then go back home, and then get ready to join my young ladies, Sarah and Sam. They were part of the, was it 4 championships out of 5 years softball program.
Oh man, yeah.
I used to call Tom with reports from the bus. So,
Yep. I remember that. All right. Well, everybody have a good day. We will talk to you tomorrow.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Good to see you, JB.
Yeah, you too.
Every time I get to see it, reminds me how you talking.